Welcome to the Home Building Hub, your essential podcast guide to building your new home. Hosted by industry experts Colin Bischoff and Darren Brennan, this conversational podcast will help better educate you about all things new home building so you can avoid costly mistakes and enjoy your building experience to the fullest, no matter which home builder you choose.
Hey there folks, and welcome to the Home Building Hub. It's Colin here with co-host Darren Brennan as always, and today, Daz, we've got to talk about an announcement that came through officially yesterday. We're going to cut straight into it. So yesterday an announcement was made that engineered stone will be banned in Australia effective mid-next year, July 2024. And basically this episode is taking the information that we know so far and sharing it with you just so you understand the positioning as of today, which is the 16th of December 2023, sharing the information we've got, giving you an insight into why it's been banned, and basically, I guess the aim today, Daz, is to break it down for people, and we'll do our best to cover the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how as best we can with the information at hand, just to better educate people about the fact the decision's been made and the implications of that so far. Okay, so ready to jump in, Daz? Let's just get straight to it, I reckon. So the first thing we want to cover, guys, is to make it really clear, I guess, why, and this is for you, Darren, why are stone benchtops being banned? Let's get a little bit of background.
Absolutely. What I was going to really quickly say is part of why we do the podcast and part of what we enjoy about it is to bring this sort of information to its head really quickly, So, it's come out this week. We want to get this information out there so you, the homeowner, the new home builder, can actually feel more educated and have an understanding of what's going on out there, not only from a customer point of view, but from a supplier and a builder point of view also. So it's a pretty big decision the government's made, and we'll talk through that. But, basically why are they being banned? And it's to do with silica. And what is silica? Silica causes silicosis. And silicosis, the first case of that was discovered in Australia, reported in Australia in 2015, related back to engineered stone, being produced. But and I guess the question is it an overreaction, this decision to ban it? What I'm going to say, I'm going to read through this one just so that we get it right. But silicosis is a form of occupational lung disease. And what I mean by occupational is it only happens because we make the product. It doesn't happen for any other reason. So understand it is related back to a job. And it's the people who make and handle this product. And it's caused by the inhaling of crystalline silica dust. So when you cut the stone to put your sink in, you cut the edges on the stone. If it's not done and any form of that crystalline silica dust escapes, and I can tell you, I've been and seen a factory where they cut a lot of this stone. It's done underwater for a reason, right? But sometimes it's not. Other times there's just not ability to do that, and dust does escape. So that's part of what this is about, right? That dust, it causes inflammation and scarring in the form of nodular lesions in the upper lobes of your lungs, right? It's a type of, I'm going to struggle with this word, Colin, but pneumonicosis.
Pneumocinosis, I think.
Yeah, thank you. You did it better than me. But silicosis causes shortness of breath, cough, fever, cyanosis, which is your skin turning blue, right, because of lack of oxygen. It's incurable. All right, guys, it's incurable. And it's almost always preventable. And what I mean by that is if you're not exposed to it, you don't get it. If you don't ever get exposed to crystalline silica dust in this form, you won't end up with silicosis from that. So, hence why they're banning it is to stop people being exposed. So basically, if you inhale crystalline silica, even the slightest amount, it will eventually kill you. Right? It's pretty full-on stuff, this stuff. And that's why the government's made this decision. Right? The reason we want to talk about the effect it has on people is to make sure that those people who are working with this stone, right, understand what happens to them. We want to give you perspective. This stuff kills, and it does a really good job of it. a really good job of it. Hundreds of people have been diagnosed who work in this industry with silicosis. So it is substantial, right? It causes enormous amounts of pain and stress to them and their families, right? And we and other countries around the world have allowed this cosmetic product, and note it's a cosmetic product, to be used for years, knowing what it does. We've known since 2015 that this stuff does this, and we've allowed so many people to be exposed. It's not good, and it's a great decision that's what's been made. So, who made the decision? The federal government, backed up by the states and territories, met this week and made the decision. It's been on the cards for a little while, but the decision was made this week to ban the product. It's the first country in the world to make this decision. So we are standing very strong as a country to make this decision, right? The decision comes after hundreds of workers have died from silicosis and working with engineered stone around this country, right? So it's having a massive impact. There will be a transition period to be finalised at a future meeting. Now, I'm led to believe that future meeting is in March of 2024. So that's in 3 months' time. That's a long chunk out of the next 6 months of what we've got to, stop using the product before they say, well, actually, here's the rules. So it's a bit crazy. So there will be some decisions having to be made because the window after that March meeting, which I'm only led to believe it's in March, it could be sooner, but it could also be later, will not allow people to, align their businesses in the right way to be able to support and supply the product that they've been, selling to their customers. What I'm going to say is I praise the government on making this decision. It's a tough decision. It's a wide impacting decision, but I believe it's the right decision, right? We just need the government to lay the rules out sooner, Cole. Like we need these rules sooner so we know how to transition through, right? That's where I stand, mate. That's sort of where it kicks off, but it's the right decision. Silicosis is really bad, really bad. We don't want people getting that, mate. Not just for putting a bench in your kitchen and some bloke dies because of it. I wouldn't, and I have stone in my kitchen, I'd go to laminate now. I'd make another choice, right? Because I don't want someone to die because of putting stone bench tops in my kitchen. That's not a great place to be. So there it is, mate. That's where I kick it off, mate. Over to you.
Thank you. So again, the point here is to create awareness for those of you who this is new to. This has all just happened yesterday officially, but my understanding, Darren, it's been deeply talked about for the better part of 12 months. It's been raised and whatnot since about 2015, but not much hasn't got too many legs, I suppose, since that time until more recently. So I guess one of the things we'd like to cover is when. So when will the ban come into place? And we'll talk about the how and the other things shortly. So installation of engineered stone will be banned from July 1st, 2024. Our understanding, and please keep in mind that we've only got the information we've got at the moment, and that will always, go left and go right. There will be more information, more decisions, etc. We're trying to identify for you, here are the facts we've got, and here's what we think will come as a result. Our understanding is the ban will apply, as I said, to the the installation of stone. Okay, so meaning that if it's not installed by that date, July 1st, 2024, an alternative must be sourced and installed instead. Okay, so let's think about that. Naturally, anyone who's looking to build a house now, hasn't yet paid a deposit or signed a contract or whatever, you're not getting stone, first and foremost.
Yep.
Anyone who's signed a contract hasn't yet reached a site start. You're waiting for land to title. You have titled land, but you're not quite got a permit. It's very, very, very unlikely that you are going to have stone. You will be getting a call from a builder once they work out, which we'll cover in a bit more detail, once they work out what they're going to do and what the alternate products are, which we will discuss a little bit further. You will be needing to make that decision to change the product. Those of you who've just started on site, it also will impact you depending on the time frame, the size of the house, etc. And there's a lot of reasons why a house may take, more than a few months. Particularly we've seen that with all the shortages, Darren, haven't we? So the reality is, if you haven't got a contract, you've just signed a contract, you're not on site, or if you've just started on site, you're very likely, in fact, I would actually say you just won't be getting stone, and you will need to change it. Those who are getting already under construction, a bit deeper into the process, Darren, as it stands, as we understand, you can probably still get stone based on this release. But the question is, will the builder want to do that? Will the supplier have the stone? This sort of decision is going to have some collateral damage in terms of logistics. Okay, so the next one, Darren, how will the ban be rolled out across the country? So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk through the HIA, the Housing Industry Australia's release, which was emailed yesterday, the 15th of December, 2023. So they don't have much information. They've shared what they've got. Projects where installation is expected before the 1st of July 24, these projects may continue unaffected by the ban. Until the ban comes into effect, workers and businesses can continue to work with engineered stone in a controlled way in accordance with the current work health and safety requirements. So that's basically saying, okay, you can be absolutely sure that you're going to have it all okay in terms of a time frame, then it will continue to be installed up until that period. The next one, Daz, do you want to cover that?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, for contracts signed before the 13th of December, 2023, and installation expected after the 1st of July 2024, the HIA, again, coming back from our industry body, the Housing Industry Association, understands that for contracts signed before the 13th of December, transition arrangements may apply that will allow for the use of engineered stone after the 1st of July 2024. However, and I will say however, the HIA notes that this is, however, far from certain, as there has been conflicting information from the government on the timing on its of this and its application, which is obviously causing members concerns, and that can that flows onto our customers. So essentially, if you've signed a contract already, you're some chance of having stone still installed in your kitchen, engineered stone. You're certainly not guaranteed. Right now, we have very little detail on how the transitional arrangements will operate, and it's certainly possible that different states or jurisdictions will take a different approach. So the HA is seeking further information as a matter of urgency, which it can supply to its builder members, and then we'll all sort of know where that's at. But again, that may not happen until that March meeting. So we may not know what those rules are till March. And if that being the case, I'm going to suggest to you that builders will stop applying engineered stone, so the likes of Caesar stone or Sile stone, etc., into your home. They're going to say, no, we can't supply it anymore. And I guess be aware, so start thinking about your alternative options, which we will talk through. So, don't be surprised when that happens. It will, for a whole lot of people, be surprised. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're going to have a step ahead of people to know that this is coming.
Yep.
Cool.
Contracts signed after the 13th of December 2023, HIA is advising members that if the project, including the use and installation of stone, will occur before the 1st of July 2024, you can continue to specify the use of stone. But I suppose that assumes that there will be stock available, and there's certainly no guarantee, which is why we said at the top, you've really got to accept, if you're not already well into construction, the reality is that you shouldn't be, and you won't be getting stone. Wouldn't be living on a hope. And remember, it is killing people. So you've got to have perspective. Like Darren said, it's a cosmetic product. The decision's been tough. The decision is the right one for the health of those workers. It is that simple. Okay, that's what it boils down to. So if the project, including the use of installation of stone, will occur after July, it is recommended to not specify the use of stone, as the ban will likely take place. after this date.
And again, there's not clarity, Cole, around whether it's you're on site by then or whether it's the date of where the actual install itself takes place. And this grey area is what's causing, a bit of angst amongst the builders too, because if we knew you just have to get you to site by a certain date, then we can certainly look to try and deliver upon that. But if it's trying to get it installed by a certain date, it could rain for 3 months, and then we can't be on your site. We just have to pause your site because it's so wet. Now you can't understand. Like
It's not worth it for a builder to give someone, we may be able to do it. Like, they don't really know. And is it the right thing to hope for Caesar stone based on that? Like, to wrap this up, we've got some dot points and some views and opinions ourselves based on the facts that we're sharing and the information we're sharing from news sites, etc. right now. But before we get to those, Darren, can you tell us, let's explain to people so far what we know about what will replace stone benchtops. So what do we got as an option instead of a stone benchtop in the kitchen and the laundry and the ensuite and the bathroom?
Yep. So, certainly the alternatives will be laminate. And so, again, traditionally, laminate was the go-to benchtop in most people's kitchens for a long period of time. Obviously, engineered stone came in and became very popular. And what I read, it represents about 2.3 million homes actually have engineered stone in them as of today. It's a lot of houses in Australia have got it.
Yeah.
But also then a lot of people have other alternatives. So laminate being one of those for sure. What I would say is laminate, because they've had their market taken away by engineered stone, they've come out with some pretty cool and sexy products. So I've seen laminates in display homes that look absolutely amazing. And you wouldn't, sometimes you're struggling to pick, is that a laminate or is that a stone? Certainly until you touch it, right? So laminates are a great alternative. You can go to natural stone. So literally a big chunk of stone that's been cut nice and thin, comes with its own challenges, staining, getting water on it, all the bits and pieces that go with that. But that's certainly a great alternative. It's expensive though. So natural stone, very expensive. Porcelain, so products like Decton, which is a manufactured product, but with a porcelain base in that. Again, right now it's expensive. I would be suggesting Decton's going to have a very big market share very quickly for their product, and we'll watch and see that space. Other alternatives could be tiles. I remember my mother-in-law had tiles in her kitchen as a benchtop. So, going back to tiles, I was just talking to one of our staff yesterday about, I wonder whether we'll start to see big tiles, 1.2, 1.8 meter tiles being installed in kitchens potentially. So would be an option. Concrete, people will pour concrete bench tops, and I've certainly seen them used before. So that's another alternative. Wood and timber. So, we've certainly seen those over the years as well. Again, not all of these options will your builder be able to provide. So, I wouldn't be thinking, great, I'm going to go get tiles, or I'm going to go get concrete, or a timber benchtop. It's may not be available through your builder. They just may not have access to that product right now. Will that change? Potentially, but right now, that's not certainly the case with a lot of builders.
And it's brand new. They haven't yet had the time to sit with a supplier to go, okay, we're going to use Decton, or we're going to use this or that, and okay, let's get the rate, and here's how many homes we've got in the pipeline we've got to deal with. Like, there's business to be discussed, and decisions to be made. So we're coming in pretty early on this, Daz, in terms of updating people. But again, we're reinforcing, the answers are not there yet. We're just giving you the awareness.
Yeah. And I think there'll be other alternatives coming to the market too. We were just saying, wonder if glass will become a benchtop, or, what are the other options that come to the, so I'm sure you'll see many other, there might be metal, stainless steel benchtops coming back in, which I've seen previously, etc. So there will be, I'm sure, other options come to the market that create, this creates opportunity for that. One thing I will say though is I also believe there will be delays because of this. There'll be delays to building, right? In some cases, because there's going to be a limited supply of this product, these alternative products available right now. So you're going to have stone going out. These products, not enough of them. it's going to cause some other headaches potentially. Now that's only potentially, and we hope it's not the case. In the case of, I work for Metricon, so in the case of Metricon, we're letting our customers know now that you're going to have to make a choice between laminate and Decton right now, or look to go to natural stone, right? So laminate's cheaper, Tecton's more expensive. So you've got to weigh these things up, right? And it's still being worked out in the background, but we're having to deliver a message in that space really quickly because the direct impact is now. So, we certainly know that that's something that's sitting there, we're just trying to work our way through. I guess, Cole, if we're to just talk about the absolute reality of the situation that here right now, engineered stone benchtops are a cosmetic product. You don't have to have them. There are many other alternatives, right? People are dying. They are dying from this product. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, we had a customer in doing a color selection, and they've got really annoyed with us that we can't supply because that's the direction we're given based on the timeframes that they've got to work with, that we can't supply the product. We're not going to meet the timeframes based on the information we have right now. This customer said, that's it, I'm going to cancel. This is terrible. Well, call your jets. Call your jets.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you'd rather someone die making a product so that you can have it in your kitchen over an alternative that might be there. I understand you might not be able to afford the additional cost, but there is a lower cost option. Laminate is magnificent. It's a magnificent product that's been around a long time and it's much safer to use, right? So, please don't be, overreact to this yourself. This is not driven by the builders, right? This is not driven by the suppliers. This is driven by a government decision and the right decision. So, number one, it's a cosmetic product. Don't overreact. Look towards an alternative and be aware of that now.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things, Cole?
Yeah, I think just on that, we're going to, and we're hopefully creating awareness for you wherever you are in the process. Please respect that the builder is doing what's right doing what they have to in terms of the decisions being made. But some builders are going to say on Monday, Darren, they're going to say no more stone, full stop. We will not support installation of stone because it's killing people, and you have to respect that decision. So I think it's sad to hear that there's a human being that you already dealt with yesterday in the colour room. Unfortunately, I just know that there are going to be many others. You're allowed to be upset, got it. But put it in perspective and please understand that the decision is based around saving lives. So you just have to swallow the pill and just move on. And we need to work with our builders and not against them to make sure that you move away from stone and you call the laminate decision, the Decton decision, whatever it may be, and respect that the builder's still trying to work their way through this as well. Okay, so we don't have all the answers. Yeah.
On that note too is you will find some builders will be like, yeah, we can put it in. You'll be right. It'll be all good. You're going to get down the track and all of a sudden, a long way down the path, and they'll be like, oh, sorry, we got it wrong.
Yeah,
right?
That is going to
You're
happen
going to be
massively.
Like, you're going to be so angry at that point because you're way down the path. You might have changed your whole buying decision based around that. Yeah. I'd be saying be really aware. If they're telling you they can do it right now, it's probably unlikely.
And it's wrong. I think people are missing the boat if they're thinking like that.
Yeah.
Like initially the reaction's like, oh, maybe, but I get it. It's just, so on that, stone is usually installed during the fixing stage, right? Which is pretty much like the stage before you're finished, right? It's really right deep into the process of construction. The cutoff is 2024. And as we said before, current quotes, current contracts, even people who are on site right now, you've just got to accept that you probably, actually, I would say, you're not going to get stone. We need you to be fair with the builder when they do reach out and try and basically work out your alternative and just accept and move forward from there. Not ideal, but again, as we've said, it's reinforcing the right decision at the end of the day. Logistically, builders may not be, sort of what you said, Darren, builders may not be in a position to determine if they can get you to fixing stage. So this is probably for the people who are just about to site start or just started. They don't know specifically they can guarantee to get you to fixing stage. So this July 24 timeline, truth be told, means nothing, right? A builder may make the stance, like we said, no more stone, full stop, deal with it, because we're going to support this decision. And if they do that, doesn't matter if you're 5 minutes away from fixing stage and you haven't got stone installed yet. It's going to cause a little bit of, I guess, frustration from some people's point of view. But one of the other areas, Darren, I think is that cutoff is the cutoff. That's great. But what about the supply? Like, a supplier is going to go and keep making this stuff. Are they going to keep bringing in what they need to have it just sitting there on the factory floor? The truth is, like, they're not going to sit around with stock like on hand or in hand out on the floor, not knowing whether it's going to be used. It will cost them squillions, So
I think we said yesterday that stock that's at July 24, 1st of July 24 becomes road base. It becomes crushed rock.
that's right, and it costs a lot of money. So I think it doesn't really matter about the timeline. The reality is that stone availability and supply, I believe, will become limited straight away. Like, regardless of decisions, why would you go and manufacture the stuff knowing that it's finished?
Yeah.
It's just you. It's hard enough decision for those companies. So this is really going to impact them, obviously. So just sharing that don't have this, if I get in my stone by July 24 mentality, because the truth is it may not even be an option at all. It could just be the decision's been done, the stock's not available, or you told me you could do it, all that stuff. Like, it's not worth the risk. It just isn't. Yeah.
I think Cole, so those businesses, right? So these places so the stone's imported, like it's made overseas, it's imported to Australia, and then they cut and cut it to suit your kitchen. They cut the holes out for your sink and your cooktop and all that sort of stuff, and then they come and install it, right? But those factories where they're cutting that stone, it's all laser cut, it's done underwater. These aren't like we just whip one of these machines up in the backyard. These are multi-million dollar machines that are doing this. They're just going to the bin. Like, these companies that own that, it's like, it's tragic, that side of it.
It
And
is.
they've changed their manufacturing from many years ago to be cutting underwater, like I say, with lasers and stuff, and all water cutting and all this sort of stuff goes on. It's amazing the way they go about it. But they've had to go to these, I guess, safer methods of cutting, because it used to just be dry cutting, dust going everywhere, people breathing that in. But it's so potent. This dust is, even if you just get a small amount, it's every chance you'll probably die from it, right? So they've gone to really high level of safety requirements, and it's still not enough. And these machines are worth an absolute fortune, and now they can't use them. So it's going to be, there's going to be some real. I mean, I feel for those businesses. Again, I'm sure when they started selling this product, they didn't know the damage it did. Right? They didn't just openly go, yeah, cool, let's kill lots of people. No, they didn't come out with that idea, right? They came out with what they thought was a great product. And now the flow-on effect of that is this situation. But there's also going to be businesses going out of business. There's going to be employees without jobs because of this decision, right?
No doubt.
Be mindful. Again, it's just a cosmetic product. Don't get yourself overwhelmed and, dirty on the whole situation. The right decision's been made. Just, make the right decision yourself now to accept that decision is.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Daz. I'd just say, just on that, like, we're not here to pick a side. In terms, like, there's businesses out there who are going to be finished as a result, and we do feel for them. We don't feel for them in favor of the people who have silicosis. Like, we're not doing it that way. We're just making it clear. We're just sharing the information we've got at hand and the impact on people. On the left side, on the right side, up or down, it's going to impact people along the way. So, just wanted to be clear on that, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess builders are going to be better off implementing the change rather than wait for the proposed meeting in March, right, to get more detail about this. So, they've got to make their own business decisions. So expect that they will, and builders will make those decisions pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The transition period right now is very vague. And for the builders and suppliers, it won't be worth the risk of hope. So I hope that the government might have some leniency here. It's just not worth that risk, bringing in all this volume of stone, many, many millions of dollars worth of stock, etc. Even if it's, tens of thousands, it's a lot of money, but it's going to be significant cost to bring in more stone on the hope that you're going to be able to supply it on a contract that was signed after that date, but not on site. Like and it's not the way it's sounding from the information that's been provided. I guess, again, granting leniency from the government isn't a great look, right? To say, oh, it's okay, we'll just let a few more through. It's not a great look, right? From a builder, from a supplier, from the government, to look towards that, the public perception, that's just not great. So, and it's not the right thing to do. We just need to accept it and move forward that, laminate's an option. Items like Decton, natural stone, and whatever else your builder is going to be able to provide for you. For this reason, I guess we believe that the option for you as a customer is just to accept the decision. You got to move forward. You got to go, all right, but I'm shitty on it, but I want to move forward, right? Make the change and don't get upset with your builder about it. It's not the builder making this call. So going in and, this is terrible. You're not, you've sold me something I couldn't get. We didn't know. 3 days ago, we didn't know this was going to happen. We sold houses 3 days ago that, had stone in them, and today we can't do that. And that's the reality. We didn't know that was the case. More importantly, this is a decision about saving lives. And so, just think about that, put yourself into perspective, as to where that's at. So, that's sort of where I guess we are. I'd also like to say from an industry standpoint, it's another challenge for the builders and homeowners that they're going to face in 2024, right? There's potential costs with this. If you decide to go and do natural stone or Decton, it's going to cost you more money. Obviously, if you do laminate, it might cost you a little bit less. But it's, that line with the 7-star and the NCC changes that we've previously discussed episodes on. These are adding cost and challenges to the building industry. It's been a tough time. There's been plenty of talk about that. It's been hard for builders. This is just another one of those hard challenges. And as an industry, we will push through that. So, getting behind your builder and back them up in that respect. And, we want to see a strong building industry. It's the, one of the key foundations of this country. These changes are good for people and good for the industry too, though. So the NCC changes, moving to 7-star, it's good for the environment, it's good for people. This change is a good change for people. This saves people's lives. So let's get in behind those changes. Let's support that, and move forward and let's make the reality of it. It's just something cosmetic. It's okay. It's okay. It won't be that bad, I promise. So, mate, Cole, I don't know if you've got anything else to add, mate. I think it's been a really interesting subject. I'm glad, I'm glad we've got to talk about it today. I'm really, really passionate about this sort of stuff that happens in our industry, and hoping that this educates our audience really well, about some of what's going on out there right now. And as more comes to light, we'll try and update you guys further.
Yep. No, well said. I think the goal for us is to, just put it out there and get some awareness into people and their minds and some understanding of the impact. And probably most importantly, the read between the lines component. A July deadline's a July deadline, but actually there's more to it than that. It really probably doesn't matter all that much. The decision's been made. And please respect your builders because they will be talking to you about, the alternatives and hopefully this helps educate clients to understand and makes life a bit easier for them and for our builders going through the transition to this, Daz. So we will update you as more information comes to light. But other than that, we might leave it there, okay? And all good. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. We do appreciate it. Hope there's some good value for you here. If you like what you hear, please jump on 5-star review in the platform that you are listening to or watching on. And then if you've got any questions, got any feedback for us, homebuildinghub.com.au is where you can go. Click on contact us and send us some information. And let's go from there. So thanks again, guys. We will see you on the next one.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys. And just our disclaimer, whilst we're all about providing value to you, this podcast should not be considered as legal or financial advice. It contains general information only, and you should seek out independent professional advice on your personal situation before making any legal or financial decisions.
1, 2.